Oh, hi! Didn't see you there. Over the years, I've gotten asked about my recommendations for Korean learning apps. If you're thinking, Billy, I just want textbooks and videos, well, I'm sorry, this video is about apps. Do you guys not have phones? But you can check out some other videos I've made, which I'll link in the description. I don't personally use a lot of apps for learning Korean, but to make this video, I downloaded dozens of the most popular ones and tried them out so I can give you my honest opinion. So let's get right to it. Here are my recommended apps for learning Korean. The first app you should get is Naver Dictionary. Now, I've talked about this a dozen times before, and I use this myself every day. If you already use Naver Dictionary on the desktop, it's mostly the same experience, but you can take it wherever you go. It has definitions for words in English and Korean, it has word origins, Hanja, pronunciation, example sentences, you get the idea. The next type of app I want to talk about is language exchange apps. Now, specifically, I want to mention HelloTalk and Tandem. These apps are great for practicing real Korean with real native speakers. You can make as few or as many friends as you want and talk to them whenever and however often you want to. And if you're planning to ever go to Korea, these apps are especially useful because you can make friends who you can meet when you go there. Now, I should mention that some people do use those apps for dating as well, but just keep that in mind. You can still definitely use them for language exchange. But I should mention, once you've actually made some friends on that app, ask them to move over to KakaoTalk because the app works a lot faster and there are no ads. Now, there are more language exchange apps too. Lingbi, which allows you to call other people, as well as many other apps, and they all serve overall the same purpose. The next app that you want to have on your phone is OnKey. Now, I use this one all the time on my desktop, and it's great for memorizing vocabulary. It is free on desktop and on Android, but on Apple it does cost $25, so keep that in mind. Now, if you do get the app, it's nice because it syncs all of your decks between every platform and every machine that you have. So I have one deck that I can load on all of my computers as well as my phone. The next app that I want to talk about gets a half recommend from me, and that's Memrise. Many people swear by this app for memorizing vocabulary, and I agree, it's pretty good. You can find decks related to whatever you're studying for free, and it's easy to review. However, I tried out the lessons in the app. Awkward translations and conjugations. I wasn't impressed. I think that the lessons don't really teach very much, but only promote rote memorization, so I don't recommend those lessons. And although there are a lot of free features, it does repeatedly bug you to purchase the full version. Next, we have actually a group of apps called Sejong Korean Grammar. Now, I should say these apps are only for reviewing, not for learning new concepts, but they're very well made and they're cute. There's a lot of good content and it's actually free. It doesn't even bug you to sign in to use the app. And I also really like that it's not just for beginners. They do have a beginner app, but they even have an intermediate grammar app, as well as a vocabulary app and a newspaper article app. But again, these apps are only for reviewing concepts, not for learning them. If they had better grammar explanations, these would be amazing, but they're still fun and have good content. The next app is Topic 1. Now, there are several apps for reviewing for the topic, such as ones for just memorizing vocabulary, so if you're preparing for that test, make sure to check those out too. I should say this is not for learning or reviewing Korean at all. It's exclusively for preparing for the topic test. But what I really like is that it has practice questions for every level of the test, and it'll tell you right away if you got a problem right or wrong. Okay, finally we have Korean podcast apps, and I've picked Patbang. Now you might be wondering why a podcast app, because that's not really for studying Korean. Well, it's for practicing Korean. It gives you lots of exposure to the language, and it's all completely natural Korean. And I think that podcasts can even be just as good, if not better, than even watching a variety show, because their speaking will be very clear and easy to understand compared to watching a drama. The other nice thing is that this type of app is something that you can do while you're busy doing other things, so while you're exercising or even driving to work. But before we go, many people have asked me for my opinion on Duolingo, Lingodeer, and Drops, as well as a few other apps. And I'll just say that I don't recommend them. Now, I don't mean that they're bad. The lessons are fun and decent quality. They also come with audio recordings, practice quizzes, and you can even review vocabulary within the apps. But they can be expensive. Lingodeer, for example, is $99 for a lifetime membership currently, and with that amount of money, you could just buy a whole textbook series. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of all of these apps, but I think that they have similar pros and cons. For example, their grammar lessons are usually quite lacking. I actually wasn't even able to try a lot of the things that I wanted to check out because so many features were locked by a paid membership. Okay, now I don't mean to trash these apps. If you're enjoying them, please keep using them. They're not hurting you. I just don't think that they're worth the price. So are there any other Korean learning apps that you use? What do you like and dislike? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. And also remember that I upload new videos to this channel every week, so if you like what you see, click subscribe. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.